रहीम कुल्लु वल्लाहु अहद अल्लाहुस समद लम यलिद वलम यूलद वलम यकुल लहू कुफुवन अहद बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम क़ुल रब्बिन नास मालिकिन नास इलाहिन नास मिन शर्रि वस्वासिल खन्नास अल्लज़ी युवस्विसु फ़ी सुदूरिन नास मिनल जिन्नति वन नास।
Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. आज की रात तुझे गोदी में सुला लूं मेरे असगर आजा। आज की रात तुझे गोदी में सुला लूं मेरे असगर आजा। लोरी अरमानों से भरपूर सुना लूं मेरे असगर आजा। आज की रात तुझे गोदी में सुला लूं मेरे असगर आजा। तीर के आगे मेरे लाल तुझे होना है, देख कर तेरी हंसी जुल्म ने भी रोना है। जो तरीके हैं लड़ाई के सिखा लूं मेरे असगर आजा। आज की रात तुझे गोदी में सुला लूं मेरे असगर आजा। पहले अल्लाह का मैं शुक्र बजा लाऊंगी, देख कर खून तेरा लाल मैं मर जाऊंगी। मैं तुझे मौत की हिचकी से बचा लूं मेरे असगर आजा। आज की रात तुझे गोदी में सुला लूं मेरे असगर आजा। तुझको एक बार दफन बाबा तेरा कर देंगे, फिर तुझे नेज़े सकीफा के वहाँ ढूंढेंगे। तुझको एक बार दफन बाबा तेरे कर देंगे, फिर तुझे नेज़े सकीफा के वहाँ ढूंढेंगे। दश्त की गर्म हवाओं से बचा लूं, मेरे असगर आजा, आज की रात तुझे गोदी में सुला लूं, मेरे असगर आजा। तेरी मासूम सकी ना को पिला के पानी, कल तेरी प्यास बुझाएगा अली का सानी। मैं तुझे देख के प्यास अपनी बुझा लूं, मेरे असगर आजा, आज की रात तुझे गोदी में सुला लूं, मेरे असगर आजा। लाश असगर की जो देखी तो उठी एक बुका, है ये शामे गरीबा को सकीना ने कहा। हो के पाबंद तुझे पानी पिला लूं, मेरे असगर आजा, आज की रात तुझे गोदी में सुला लूं, मेरे असगर आजा। मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि
मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु झूला वीरान कर गए असगर, झूला वीरान कर गए असगर, तुम न जाने किधर गए असगर, झूला वीरान कर गए असगर। ढूंढती फिर रही है मादन में, तुम न जाने किधर गए असगर, झूला वीरान कर गए असगर। चैन से सो रहे हो तुरबत में, चैन से सो रहे हो तुरबत में, माँ को बेचैन कर गए असगर, झूला वीरान कर गए असगर। माँ का दिल हो के रह गया पानी, माँ का दिल हो के रह गया पानी, तुम पिया से ही मर गए असगर, झूला वीरान कर गए असगर, सिसकियाँ ले के रह गई बानो, शाह के हाथों पे मर गए असगर, झूला वीरान कर गए असगर। माँ ने देखा है ख्वाब में बेटा, माँ ने देखा है ख्वाब में बेटा, तुम अंधेरे से डर गए असगर, झूला वीरान कर गए असगर। माँ अकेली फूफी अकेली है, माँ अकेली फूफी अकेली है, अब तो खादम भी मर गए असगर, झूला वीरान कर गए असगर। तुम न जाने किधर गए असगर, झूला वीरान कर गए असगर। बर मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु
दीगर सलवात। ए मार का कुव्वते इस्लाम के जौहर, 6 माह की मुद्दत में क़यामत के बराबर, नन्हे से मुजाहिद अली असग़र, अली असग़र, नन्हे से मुजाहिद अली असग़र, अली असग़र। मकसद था विलादत का फ़क़त कार शहादत, ये बात हुई और किसी को ना मुयस्सर। यकता है तेरी खून में डूबी हुई तस्वीर, तारीख़ दिखाती नहीं ऐसा कोई मंज़र। बाबा के सब अंदाज़ हैं दादा के तरीके, नींद आ गई रेती पे ना तकिया है ना बिस्तर, उलझे हुए बालों पे फिदा शाम शबे गम, डूबी हुई नब्ज़ों पे सितारों की निछावर, ढलती हुई गर्दन पे यदुल्ला के बोसे, सूखे हुए होंठों पे तसद्दुक़ लबे कौसर, एक मन में छुपाए हुए अकबर की जवानी, मुट्ठी में दबाए हुए सज्जाद के जौहर, आँखों में झलकता हुआ मासूम तबस्सुम, गर्दन से टपकता हुआ खूने दिले मादर,
तारीख में है सब तेरे बचपन का सलीका। तू मौत की आगोश में आया था हुमा कर, जिस वक्त हुई मोहर तेरे ज़ख्मे गुलू की। पूरा हुआ शबीर के ईसार का दफ्तर, आराम से सोए शबे आशूर के जागे। लोरी तुझे देता है तेरा नजमे सुखनवर, ए मारकाए कुव्वते इस्लाम के जौहर। सलवात।
Assalamu alaikum. We are gathered here on the 10th Shabe Ashur night to commemorate the Azab of Abdullah Hussain alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Inshallah, we'll continue the majlis by our visiting speaker Sheikh Hassan Abdullah. For tomorrow, also for tonight, we'll be staying after the main program. After namaz, we'll stay, do the Ziyat Nahiyya recitation, and of course, if you want to recite Marsiya Naha, feel free to stay late and recite whatever you would like, inshallah. And Azakhana will also be open for the visitation, inshallah, until late night. For tomorrow, it's the day of Ashur. We'll start 11 o'clock with the Amal of Ashura, inshallah, and we'll continue until Zohar prayers. We'll have the Jamaat Salat, and right after Jamaat, we'll do the Majlis, inshallah, for the Asr Ashur. And then we'll end with the Faqa Shikani. And then on the Shame Ghariba, we'll start with Maghrib, inshallah. We'll do the Maghrib Jamaat Salat, immediately followed by the Shame Ghariba Majlis. For ladies, there will be no program for ladies tomorrow on day of Ashura. However, they'll resume the last program, last Majlis on Wednesday. And also for this first Ashura, the last Majlis will be on Wednesday, 8 o'clock, inshallah. There is a kids program, kids Majlis program on Wednesday, which is 11th of Muharram, 6:45. There is a registration process. The email and WhatsApp message has gone through if anyone is still interested. These are small kids who want to attend the Majlis on Wednesday, 17th of July, 6:45 to 7:45, inshallah. There's no specific age, it's just small kid, and you know, between maybe less than 10, 12, maybe less than 10, between like 2 to 10 or 3 to 10, something like that. There's no specific age. Yes, for donations, I've been announcing. You can donate either way. Either you donate for the sponsor the Majlis, or you just donate towards the general Muharram fund, inshallah. Our target is $40,000, and we are about $16,000 to $17,000 at this point in time. So you are still way behind our target. If you can donate generously, inshallah, to achieve our target. For the parking for tonight and tomorrow night and on Wednesday, any evening we are okay to park on the overflow parking, which is actually on the Arona. However, for tomorrow daytime, there is no parking because it's a business day and they have to run their business. So yes. So also be mindful of the whenever you are parking that you do not park on our area which is not designated for parking, whether it is within in our parking slot space or it is on the roadside or anywhere else. So you have to follow the sign. I know it might be inconvenient and you may have to walk and park a little bit far, but that's a part of the ibadat. I can say you'll also get reward for each step you take inshallah for attending the Majlis of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. So be mindful of parking. No parking at Rona on roadside. There's a business tomorrow. It's a working day. So be mindful. Do not park on any area which blocks any access or is not a parking area. There will be parking across you can look at. So you may have to look for the proper parking spot. For Muharram merchandise, if you notice, just beside the main door, there are t-shirts. If anyone interested, hoodies, t-shirts, they are available if you want to get one for your family. For Surah Fatiha, sponsors of tonight, Tabarruk, Brother Irfan, all his marhumin, Brother Durin Najaf is his all his marhumin. Also these marhumin that we remember throughout the year, marhumin of Ghulam Hussain Maulidina family, Ghulam Hussain Haki family, Musa Virji family, Ahmad Nanji Kara family, Ramzan Ali Manik, Leela Bai Manik, Amir Rasul Narji, Hasnan Rahim, Yusuf Ali Ghulam Hussain Maulidina, Marhum Inayat Ali Manik, Marhum Nazir Ghulam Hussain, Marhum Fida Ghulam Hussain, Marhum Amina Abai Jibraj, all those who have contributed, recited, attended these majalis anywhere, served the cause of Ahl Bayt anywhere in the world. All of them, Kul Mu'mineen and Mu'minat, Muslimin and Muslimat, Al-Fatiha. Now, a couple of last requests as usual. If you can come towards the member as much as you can, especially usually there's a lot of space vacant on the left hand side. If you can fill that up and put your cell phones on mute, this way we don't get disturbance during the majlis. And I'll request with your Lord Salawat Sheikh Hassan Abdullah to come to the member and recite majlis. Par Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad Salawat. Allah.
Reports of some Zuwar or some Azadar of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam being attacked, and there may have been some casualties. It has literally happened, and the investigations are still ongoing. So if we can recite this Surah Fatiha for the protection of all the Zuwar and Azadar of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam around the world, and for the souls of all those who have been lost in the way and in the love of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Al-Fatiha. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. رضا بقضائه وتسليما لأمره. صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله، يا رحمة الله الواسعة، ويا باب نجاة الأمة. غريب يا مظلوم كربلاء. يا ليتنا كنا معكم سيدي، فنفوز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه المجيد وفرقانه الحميد، وهو أصدق القائلين: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. من المؤمنين رجال صدقوا ما عاهدوا الله عليه، فمنهم من قضى نحبه ومنهم من ينتظر وما بدلوا تبديلا. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلى على محمد. مولاي صاحب العصر والزمان, my respected elders, brothers and sisters, عظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصابنا بأبي عبد الله الحسين. This is indeed a night of great tragedy and calamity and sorrow for the Ahl al-Bayt. For the Ahl al-Bayt, this night is no lesser in calamity and in gravity than the day of the loss of Rasulullah. It is no less calamitous than the day of the loss of Fatima al-Zahra and Amir al-Mu'mineen and Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Such that when the head of Imam al-Hussein was severed and Lady Zainab comes to the headless body of Imam al-Hussein, she places her hands beneath the body and she says, Al-yawma mata jaddi Rasulullah. Al-yawma mata abi. Al-yawma matat ummuna Fatima. Al-yawma mata akhi al-Hasan. Ya Aba Abdullah, they did not kill you today. They have killed Rasulullah. They have killed Fatima al-Zahra. They have killed Amir al-Mu'mineen. They have annihilated Ashab al-Kisa. Imam Sahib al-Asri wa Zaman in his ziyarah, Ziyaratul Nahiyah, he says, قَدْ قَتَلُوا بِقَتْلِكَ الْإِسْلَامِ وَعَطَّلُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَالصِّيَامِ. Ya Aba Abdullah, with your killing they have killed Islam in essence. You were the embodiment of Islam. وَعَطَّلُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَالصِّيَامِ. You, by killing you, they have desecrated salah, prayers and fasting. Because this is also a night of ibadat. Such that Imam alayhi salam, Imam Ja'far Sadiq alayhi salatu was salam, says that the one who spends this night emulating Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Remember, Imam asked for this night, for the extension. Oh brother Abbas, go and ask them to give us one more night. Ya Imam, were you worried for your life? Imam said, no, by Allah. Allah knows how much I love praying to Him and reciting the Quran. And then history documents that Imam and his companions spent the entire night in worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says that the one who spends his night, this entire night, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives him the reward of the worship of all His angels. In another tradition, Imam alayhi salam says the one who spends this night worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and remembering Aba Abdullah al-Hussein, Allah, it is as if he has worshipped Allah for 70 years. In a third tradition, Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salatu was salam says that the one who goes for the ziyarat of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam on the night of Ashura and spends the night of Ashura in Karbala, on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will resurrect him smeared in the blood of Aba Abdullah alongside his companions. But we are not fortunate to be in Karbala on this night. But there is nothing stopping us from hoping for the same reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by at least doing a small ziyarat for Aba Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. And there are many ziyarats that take 3 minutes to ziyarats that could take 20 minutes, depending on how much appetite we have. Just remember, when we're doing the ziyarat, we can do it with multiple niyat on behalf of many people. And the most worthy people to do ziyarat on behalf of would be the Ma'asumeen alayhimus salam, Lady Zainab, Abu al-Fadl Abbas alayhimus salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala. The verse which I recited at the beginning of our talk is verse 23, chapter 33 of the Holy Quran, which we will be reciting tomorrow during the A'mal in Surah Al-Ahzab. And it is a verse that Imam alayhi salam himself recited numerous times on the day of Ashura, particularly when he would go to receive the body of one of the shuhada, one of the companions. In essence, Imam alayhi salam was offering them certification at the point of their martyrdom. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ رِجَالٌ صَدَقُوا مَا عَاهَدُوا اللَّهَ عَلَيْهِ. The narration says, we have all taken an oath way before we came into this world. Way before. In the elementary realm of our creation. Allah says, Allah testifies to this. Allah says, but amongst my servants, amongst the mu'mineen, there are some who have fulfilled their covenant. They have been loyal towards the personalities whom they have taken a covenant of allegiance, an oath of allegiance towards. And there are some who still await. وَمَا بَدَّلُوا تَبْدِيلًا. But they never deviated from the path. They were so steadfast, so certain on the path. They never deviated. وَمَا بَدَّلُوا تَبْدِيلًا. But on this night, I want to share some examples of some of the stances of some of the companions of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Burayr bin Khudayr al-Hamadani, a leader from the clan of Hamadan of Yemen, a dweller of Kufa, a hafidh of the Quran, kana sayyidul qurra. History writes about him that he was the leader or the master of the Qurra in Kufa. He used to teach Quran. Such that when he came into the battlefield, one man said, I am going to go kill him. His friend says to him, don't you remember he is the one who taught us Quran? And Burayr has a phenomenal stance on the day of Ashura in terms of guiding the people. Burayr had reached an old age. And Imam alayhi salam, as you know, reluctantly would give permission to people to go and fight. So Burayr comes to one of his friends. When Imam divided his army into 3 flanks, there was a right flank, a central flank, and a left flank. Imam, as he was dividing the army, Burayr comes to one of his companions, and he had reached such an old age. At old age, sometimes your eyebrows or the skin of your eyebrow has overgrown and it overshadows your eyes, such that your eyes remain semi-closed. He comes to a companion of his and he rips his amama into 2 parts. He says, I want you with one part of my amama to tie my hair to amama so tight that my eyebrows are raised. So it looks like I'm still Jawan, I'm still a youth. And his back had bent. He said, tie the second part of my amama so tightly on my back that it straightens my back. Then he comes in front of Imam. Oh Imam, allow me to go. Imam reluctantly allows him to go. Burayr offers his sacrifice. But this is Burayr. Another companion, Muslim ibn Awsaja. Muslim ibn Awsaja goes into the battlefield. He falls. He calls Imam alayhi salam. Imam rushes towards him. But Muslim was friends with Habib as well. So Habib and Imam al-Hussein come to receive Muslim ibn Awsaja. When they sit, Imam takes the head of Muslim ibn Awsaja and places it on his lap. Habib says to Muslim, he says, oh Muslim, if I was not certain, if I did not have conviction that I am following you in a few moments' time, I would have asked you, oh Muslim, do you have any last wishes, any last desires? Muslim says, oh Habib, but I do have a last wish. Habib says to him, what is it? He says, Usika bihada. My will is do not abandon Aba Abdullah. But Imam recites this verse which we recited at the beginning. Muslim, his soul departs his body. As Imam is bringing the body of Muslim back to the tents where he was gathering all the bodies of the shuhada, Imam literally places the body and he sees a young boy running into the battlefield, an 11-year-old boy, dragging his sword in the battlefield and reciting the rids, Amiri Husaynun wa ni'mal amir, sururu fu'adil bashirin nadir. If you want to the companions did not introduce themselves sometimes. They introduced themselves as servants of Aba Abdullah. He says, my Amir is Hussein, and what an Amir, whose father is Ali and mother is Fatima. Do you know anyone of his stature in this world? Imam says, who is this young man? Call him back. They bring the young man back to the tents. Imam says to him, who are you? He says, oh Mawla, the body of my father is still in your hands. He says, but your mother must be grieving for your father. Go back to your mother. He says, Ummi allati albasatni lamata harbi. Oh Aba Abdullah, When my father fell, my mother is the one who put this vest of war on me. And she said to me, you saw your father? Now your turn to go and make me proud. Aba Abdullah, please allow me to go. Imam says, return him to his mother. This is Burayd. This is Muslim ibn Awsaja, a third companion of Imam alayhi salam. A man known as Zuhair ibn al-Qayn. Zuhair ibn al-Qayn, the history writes that Zuhair was a Uthmani. That means he blamed Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam for not doing anything to stop the killing of Uthman. He never gave bay'ah to Amir al-Mu'mineen. He never fought in Jamal or Siffin or Nehrawan. He never gave bay'ah to Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam. He never fought alongside Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam. And he was in Hajj with Imam al-Hussein. But Imam al-Hussein proceeded towards Kufa. He completed his Hajj. And as the group with him were much less than the group of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, therefore he was able to travel faster than Imam alayhi salam, such that he caught up with Imam. But throughout the way he avoided camping near the camp of Imam, because he did not want to face Imam alayhi salam. Some say maybe he held a grudge against Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam al-Hasan and Imam al-Hussein alayhimus salam. Until one point, he had preceded Imam's camp and he was camping, and Imam now approached that area. Imam set camp. Imam said to his companions, whose camp is that in the distance? They inquired. They found out that it is the camp of Zuhair ibn al-Qayn. Imam sent a messenger. He said, tell Zuhair that Hussein ibn Ali wants to see him. The messenger goes to Zuhair. Zuhair takes the message and he says to him, go back and I will think about it. When his family members asked him, will you go and comply? He says, no, I'm not interested in meeting with Hussein ibn Ali. I have no business with him. Here, Salamullah on the wives that played a part of the Shuhada's role in Karbala. His wife was named Daylam. Daylam comes to Zuhair. She says to him, shame on you, O Zuhair. If it was a Christian or a Jew, you would have complied, you would have at least gone and heard what they had to say. This is the son of Rasulullah. This is the son of Fatima and Ali. At least go. There's a request to come a little bit forward, please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. She says to him, shame on you, O Zuhair. At least go and hear what the man has to say. If not for him, then out of respect for Rasulullah, whose shahadat you are uttering, then you can decide whether you want to comply with what he has to say to you or not. Zuhair, encouraged by the words of his wife, goes. He goes as an enemy of the Ahl al-Bayt. Now the history goes silent. No one knows what took place in the tent of Imam al-Hussein between Zuhair and Imam. Maybe when Imam Sahib al-Asr reappears, he will tell us what happened. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Maybe Imam will, when he reappears, he will tell us what took place between Zuhair and Imam. But all we know now is when now Zuhair returned back, he looked like a changed man. He entered his tent where his clan members were eagerly waiting to hear what has happened. And he enters with a smile. He says, you are all allowed to leave me here and go. He says to his wife, I am giving you talaq, I am setting you free. And let your cousins take you back to your clan. Everyone in shock. They said to him, what about you, O Zuhair? He says, as for me, I have become a Husseini. Zuhair, what changed you? He does not say. He says, but those who want to join me, you are most welcome to join me. And those who want to go on without me, this is my final goodbye to all of you. And inshallah, we will meet in the hereafter. Here, Zuhair goes. And Zuhair has a beautiful stance in the tent of Imam al-Hussein on the night of Ashura. And we will come to what he has to say in a moment. Zuhair goes. The day of Ashura takes place. Zuhair is one of two people who stood guard taking the arrows on their bodies while Imam and his companions played Salatul Dhuhr. But as soon as Salatul Dhuhr finished, one of them fell. And I will come to him in a second. Zuhair launches his attack and he kills many of them and eventually gets killed. After the martyrdom of Imam al-Hussein, Daylam, the wife of Zuhair, she has a ghulam, she has a servant. She gives a kafan, a shroud to her ghulam. She says, go and shroud your master Zuhair and offer him a respectable burial. The ghulam goes. While later he comes back to the tent. He comes back with tears in his eyes and he comes back holding the shroud. She says to him, woe be unto you. Did I not say to you, go and shroud your master Zuhair? He says, by Allah, I went to comply with your request. And I came to Karbala and I saw all the bodies were headless. And I recognized the body of my master Zuhair. But as I approached the body of master Zuhair, I noticed one body that looked a little different to all the other bodies. She said, how so? She said, the body was so mutilated. It was trampled upon. But I noticed the birds and the animals circumambulating the body. I recognized that this must be Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. I felt guilty, I felt ashamed that I shroud Zuhair. And the son of Rasulullah remains without a shroud, burning under the sun. But because you had not told me to shroud Imam al-Hussein, I have come back. This is Zuhair. A second man stood up with Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam to guard him. His name was Sa'id ibn Abdullah. Sa'id ibn Abdullah. Some of the scholars write, he says, what level did the companions of Imam al-Hussein reached? Today, if I picked up a small object and I just threw it at you, instinctively, without thinking, your reflexes will kick into action and you will try and avert any danger coming towards you. A stone, as anybody throws anything, a sound that you hear that is shocking, instinctively, without thinking, reflexes kick in. You don't have to tell them. You avert the danger. How much self-control did the companions of Imam al-Hussein reach? That they even were able to suppress their reflexes and their instinctive decisions. The arrows are coming towards them. And Sa'id ibn Abdullah begins receiving arrow by arrow by arrow. Arrow goes into his eye, arrow goes into his forehead, but he does not flutter, he does not move from his position. It was more acceptable to Sa'id and Zuhair to take the arrows on their bodies than a single arrow to come anywhere near Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. As the narration says, Imam alayhi salam said, Allahu Akbar. He finished his salah and Sa'id ibn Abdullah falls with arrows from the top of his head to the floor, filled with arrows. He falls in front of Abu Abdullah and he says, oh Allah, bear witness. Oh Allah, bear witness and ask your Habib Rasulullah to do my shafa'ah. Then he turns towards Abu Abdullah. Abu Abdullah in the state of his salah. Look at the wish of these companions. He turns to Abu Abdullah and he says, Ya Abu Abdullah, hal wafayt? Was I wafadar, Ya Abu Abdullah? From tip to toe, he has taken the arrows for Abu Abdullah. But they just want that one smile from Abu Abdullah alayhi salam. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam says to him, by Allah, you are in front of me in Jannah. I don't know whether Imam means I am seeing you in Jannah, or by Allah, I will not enter Jannah until you enter before me, O Ya Sa'id. O Sa'id, by Allah. Sa'id means happy. My heart wants to say, O Sa'id, by Allah, you have proved that you lived happy in this world and you will live happily in the hereafter. This is Sa'id ibn Abdullah. Now let's come to a servant, a black Abyssinian servant. His name was John bin Hawi. John was purchased by Amirul Mu'mineen and gifted to Abu Dhar. He served Abu Dhar. After the death of Abu Dhar, he returns back in servitude of Imam al-Hasan and Hussein alayhim as-salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala. Joan, on the day of Ashura, had already reached an old age. Joan comes to Abu Abdullah. He says, "Oh Master, allow me to go and offer myself as a sacrifice defending you." Imam says to him, "Joan, jihad is not wajib on you. You have reached an old age." Joan puts his head down on the floor. He says, "Abu Abdullah, is it because I'm black?" He says, "Abu Abdullah, by Allah, I know my scent is not pleasant. My blood is not pure like yours. My lineage is nowhere near as respectable as your lineage, Ya Abu Abdullah." "Oh, Abu Abdullah." Imam says to him, "No, Joan, no, by Allah." He says to him, "You came, you've served us well. Now go and save your life. There is no need for you to offer your sacrifice for me. By Allah, I will do your shafa'ah, and I will tell my grandfather to do your shafa'ah on the day of judgment." Joan, the Abyssinian slave, he says, "Oh, Ya Abu Abdullah, in good times I ate from your plate, and at hard times shall I abandon you? No, by Allah." He says, "Abu Abdullah, please do sadaqah on me. Do charity on me by allowing me to enter into paradise, so that maybe my blood may be mixed with your pure blood, and maybe my face may illuminate, and my lineage is purified." And the narration says Abu Abdullah hugs him. He goes into the battlefield. He falls. He calls Abu Abdullah. Remember yesterday we talked about Hazrat Ali Akbar. One of the things that Abu Abdullah does to his dear son is that when he embraces him at the end, he places his cheek on the cheek of Ali Akbar. But we see the same action from Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. The same level of love and respect and affection to his Ali Akbar he displays to Joan. He picks up Joan. He places his cheek on the cheek of Joan. He says, "Oh Joan, I am sorry. Oh Joan, may Allah." He then prays to Allah. He says, "Oh Allah, illuminate his face. Oh Allah, give him a good scent. Oh Allah, give him the shafa'ah of my grandfather Rasulullah." The enemies narrate that after the battle had finished, anybody who passed by the body of Joan, the black Abyssinian slave, they would smell scent, heavenly scent that they had not smelt in this world. This is the dua of Abu Abdullah. Wahab bin Abdullah al-Kalbi was a Christian young man. A Christian. Today, those of you who engage in interfaith dialogues, tell the Christians that Christians played a part in this massacre that took place, in saving humanity, in standing for freedom and justice. 25-year-old young man. On the day of Ashura, it was 17 days to his marriage. Newly married. 17 days on the day of Ashura. But he met Imam al-Hussein a few days before Ashura. Imam al-Hussein notices that there is a camp on their way in a place called, not Nainawa, but in a place called Nawawis, an ancient qabristan of the Christians, and there were some dwellings of Christians scattered in the desert. Imam approaches a tent. He says, "Assalamu ala ahli diyar." An old woman comes out and a young woman comes out. Imam al-Hussein descends from his horse. He says, "To whom belongs this house?" They said, "It belongs to a man called Wahab. He is my son." "Where is Wahab?" He said, "He has gone to fetch us some water." Imam alayhi salam says to him, "Give him my salams and tell him Hussein ibn Ali came to see you." She says, "But who are you?" He says, "He will know." He says, "I am camped a distance away. Tell him I will wait for him for a while." Wahab comes back near the evening. He says, he notices footprints of horses. He says, "Oh mother, has somebody come this way?" She says, "Oh son, a man came, a pious looking man came, who has the complexion of the prophets. Look, when your heart is pure, you can notice purity. When the heart is guided, Allah then shows you who the people of guidance are. She says to him, a pious looking man did come who looked like prophets. And he sent you his salams and he said to you, I am Hussein ibn Ali and I will wait for you. But he begins crying. His mother says, do you know him? He says, oh mother, last night I saw in my dream Ruhullah Isa alayhi salam, Jesus. He was sitting in a tent and behind him were 4 illuminating personalities who looked like they had more grandeur and more luminosity than Jesus himself. But Jesus stood up to receive me. He embraces me. Then he begins introducing these personalities. He says, oh Wahab, I want you to join these people. Time has come for you to join these people. He said, this is my master Rasulullah. This is my master Ali. This is my master Hassan. This is my master Hussein. He says, mother, then Jesus pointed with his finger towards the final person. And he says, when he comes for your help, do not ignore his call. And I woke up. But now you say to me, who is Hussein? That is Hussein whom Jesus said to me, he will come to your door. When he comes to your door, do not ignore his call. But Wahab rushes towards the tent of Imam al-Hussein. Moments later, he comes back to his mother. He says, oh mother, I have decided to embrace Islam. Oh mother, I have decided to join my Mawla Hussein. She says, oh Wahab, you are embracing Islam? Have you achieved conviction in Islam? He says, yes, by Allah. It is the path, the upgraded path of my master Jesus. She says, then if you are accepting Islam, then we are accepting Islam. And if you are joining Hussein, we will join the women of Hussein. But this mother and this wife of Wahab spent only a few days with Zainab al-Kubra, Salamullahi alayha. The day of Ashura came. The day of Ashura came. Wahab comes and he takes his permission from Imam alayhi salam. Imam gives him permission. Wahab goes into the battlefield. But when he comes to his mother before going into the battlefield, he says, mother, do you allow me to go? She says, oh my son, by Allah, go and make me proud. Wahab comes into the battlefield. As he is leaving his tent, somebody grabs him from the back. She says, Wahab, we are barely married for 2 weeks. Wahab, this is somebody else's fight. It's not our fight. Oh Wahab, have mercy on me. Wahab says to her, oh Amatullah, we are always in a fight of haqq and batil. Always. This is not a time to be sentimental. This is the time to stand with the truth. Wahab, his mother says to him, ignore her and go. Wahab goes into the battlefield. In his first attack, he kills 30 odd. While fighting, they sever his right arm. Wahab falls onto the ground and grabs the sword with his left arm. He comes back to his mother. He says, mother, are you proud with Wahab's fighting? 25-year-old young man who has nothing to do with Islam before a few days. His mother says, by Allah, I am not going to be proud until I see your blood spilled on the floors of Karbala. She says, Fatimatu Zahra mourns for her son while my son remains alive. Wahab, go by Allah and make me proud in front of my master Zahra. Wahab comes into the battlefield for the final time. But now this time when Wahab goes, he hears somebody calling him, oh Wahab, hasten, go faster, oh Wahab. Qatil dun at-tayyibin. Oh Wahab, go and fight, protecting the honorable personalities of the Ahl al-Bayt. He recognizes the voice. When he turns around, he says it was the same wife of his that moments ago had stopped him from going into the battlefield. He comes back. He says, Amatallah, oh woman, what has happened to you? What has changed changed? What has changed your mind? Moments ago you were telling me not to go. Now you are telling me, hasten, go. Go and get killed. Go and get sacrificed for Aba Abdullah. She says, do not blame me, O Wahab. For when you went the first time into the battlefield, I saw Hussein sit on the ground and he put his head into the facing the ground. And he says, ah, min qillati nasira. How little help does the son of Rasulullah have? And he recited a few couplets of poetry. He says, Ya dahru uffin laka min khalili. Kam laka bil ishraqi wal asili. O time, how wretched, how bad of a companion you are. You have taken away all the near and dear people from me, and you shall not be satisfied until you take me with them. She says, when I heard this broken heart of Imam al-Hussein, she said, I changed my mind. No, by Allah, go and make me proud in front of Fatima Zahra. Wahab falls on the ground. The wife rushes to him, the love of a newlywed couple. She sits on the body of Wahab. She mourns for Wahab. She congratulates Wahab. She says, oh Wahab, when you reach paradise, do not forget me, oh Wahab. But here, Shimr ibn Dhil Jawshan al-Mal'oon had a servant. His name was Rustum. He says, Rustum, grab a pole and go. Send her to her husband. So Rustum comes and deceptively strikes the wife of Wahab on the head. She falls Shahida, and she was the first martyr in Karbala. Now Umar ibn Sa'd says, decapitate, sever the head of Wahab and throw it towards his mother. They decapitate the head of Wahab. They throw it towards the Wahab. Wahab takes the severed head of her son. She cleans the blood. She kisses him on the forehead, and then she throws the head back towards the enemies. She says, that which we offer as sadaqah for Ali Muhammad, we do not take back. But now she grabs a pole. She grabs a pole, and she now comes into the battlefield to attack the enemies. Imam alayhi salam says to her, by Allah, jihad is not wajib on you. Return back for God's sake. She complies with Imam's request. She comes back. Yes, by Allah, I see tears in your eyes. By Allah, these tears are precious in the eyes of the Ahl al-Bayt. Your tears bring comfort to the heart of Fatima Zahra alayhi salam. Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam. Muawiyah bin Wahab. He says, I entered once to meet Imam Mawla Imam al-Sadiq in the sujood of his shukr sujood. I hear him praying for the Zuwar and the mourners of Aba Abdullah. Amongst the du'as that Imam al-Sadiq makes for you, he says, oh Allah, have mercy to the cry that came out of the heart of the mourners for Aba Abdullah. When you say, Ya Hussein, when you say, Wa Husayna, Imam al-Sadiq is praying, is congratulating you for that cry of Wa Husayna. Then Imam continues. Imam says, Allahumma arham ad-dam'ata allati kanat lana. Oh Allah, have mercy on those tears that come out in pain and in affection and in the love for Aba Abdullah. This is the value of your tears. Yes, by Allah, the night of Ashura is upon us. The night of calamity is upon us. Imam alayhi salam, the narration says, Imam gathers all his companions in the tent on the night of Ashura, and he delivers a sermon. In his sermon, he says, by Allah, I do not know any companions more loyal and more honorable than the companions that Allah has given me. Imam then says to them, by Allah, you have showcased your loyalty. Imam says to them, I am now relieving you of your bay'ah, of your oath of allegiance towards me, so you don't feel guilty. Imam then says, these enemies have only come to kill me. Once they kill me, they are not interested in anyone else. Oh my loyal companions, by Allah, so far you have showed your loyalty. But now I want you all to take the darkness of the night as your cover, and go take the hand of one of my Ahl al-Bayt and go and save yourselves. Leave me alone with these enemies. Imam then said, and do not worry, on the day of judgment, by Allah, I will do your shafa'ah, and I will ask my grandfather Rasulullah to do your shafa'ah. But Imam then says, Imam waits for a while. Nobody moves. Imam says, maybe you feel embarrassed that Hussein is looking at you. Imam now with his holy hands goes and turns all the candles off. If the history writes that Imam waits for a little while. After a while, Imam goes and lights candle by candle with his own holy hands. But now when Imam turns back, he sees each and every companion and each and every member of the Ahl al-Bayt and the Hashimis are sitting exactly in their place. He says, did I not ask you all to leave me and go? Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas stood up. He says, oh Mawla Hussein, what a dishonorable life would it be to leave you behind and live without you. Zuhair ibn al-Qayn stands up. Zuhair ibn al-Qayn stands up and he says, oh Mawla Hussein, by Allah, Allah has given me one life. By Allah, if tomorrow they were to chop me into pieces, then burn my body, then scatter my ashes into the desert, and Allah was to resurrect me, and I get to taste the same death 1,000 times, that will be more plausible to me. I will happily take that type of death if I could only avert one arrow that would be coming towards you or towards these noble people. Zuhair Habib Imam then looked at the sons of Aqil. He says, oh my cousins, Muslim ibn Aqil is sufficient as a sacrifice for you. No one else has to die. They stood up. They said, Ya Aba Abdullah, what face shall we show the people of Medina that we left our master and our Aqa amongst the enemies and we did not even strike a single sword defending him? No, by Allah. But Imam congratulates them. He now pulls out a scroll and he recites the name of each and every martyr on the day of Ashura. Qasim pulls Imam. He says, oh Mawla, am I on that list? Imam embraces Qasim. The night continues. Nafi' ibn Hilal says, I noticed Mawla Hussein guarding the tents. But while he was guarding, I noticed Mawla going towards the enemies, going towards the battlefield. And he would bend a little, pick something from the ground and stand up. Then he would bend a little, pick something from the ground and stand up, bend a little. Imam then noticed somebody is following him. He says, is this Nafi'? Nafi' came close. He says, oh Mawla, I am sorry, but I am fearful that these treacherous enemies might attack you deceptively. He says, Mawla, why are you bending? What are you picking from the ground? He says, oh Nafi', tomorrow when we are all martyred, my tents will be burnt, my children will run into the same battlefield, but I am picking up the sharp stones and the thorns from the ground so that tomorrow Sakina is not hurt. Imam then takes the hand of Nafi' bin Hilal and they return back towards the tents. On the way, Imam stops. He says, oh Nafi', can you see those two mountains in the distance? He says, yes Mawla, I can see them. Imam says, can you see the path that leads between them? He says, yes Mawla, I see it. He says, oh Nafi', why don't you go and run away? Nobody will chase you. Save your life. But Nafi' falls on the ground and he says, oh Mawla Hussein, may the wild dogs eat me alive if I was to ever abandon you, oh Mawla. Imam returns back. Nafi' says, Imam enters into the tent of Lady Zainab. I stood guard outside the tent, but now I heard Lady Zainab say to Mawla Hussein, oh brother, have you tested your companions? Oh Hussein, remember how treacherous the people of Kufa were to our father Ali. Oh Hussein, remember the treachery of the people of Kufa towards our brother Hassan. Nafi' heard this. He ran towards the khayma, towards the tent of the ashab. He enters. He sees Habib and Burayr and everyone reciting salah or reciting Quran. Nafi' says, woe be unto you, O Habib. You are here reciting Quran, and the daughter of Zahra doubts in your loyalty. Habib stood up. He says, oh valiant warriors, come with me. He took off his amama. He threw it on the ground. He unsheathed his sword. He says, all of you unsheathe your swords. They come and they stood. When they come out, Abu al-Fadl Abbas hears the commotion. He comes out of his tent. Uncle Habib, what has happened? Habib says to him, oh Abbas, oh son, go back into your tent. This is a matter between us and our Mawla. They go to the tent of Lady Zainab. They stand outside. Habib, he praises Allah. He praises Rasulullah. And he says, Ya Ahla Bayti Rasulullah, O the household of Rasulullah. By Allah, your loyal companions, you have vowed that they will not put these swords except into the necks of your enemies. But if you order us right now, we will happily take our own lives for you. Lady Zainab prays for them. But the night of Ashura finished. The day of Ashura came. Companion after companion went. No one came back. Ali Akbar went and he did not come back. Qasim went. Abbas went. When now no one remained, Imam ascends his horse. He comes to the battlefield and he cries, Ala hal min nasirin yansuruna. ألا هل من مغيث يغيثنا ألا هل من داب يدب عن حرم رسول الله. Is there anyone willing to stand for Hussein? Is there anyone willing to stand to defend the daughters of Fatima? No one replied. Imam then looked right and he looked left. He says, Habib, ya abtal al-Safa wa ya fursan al-Hayja. Oh Habib, oh Zuhair, oh Burair, are you not hearing your master? The narration says the bodies of the shuhada began shaking as if the bodies of the shuhada were saying, Oh Mawla, if Allah permits us, we will willing to come back and defend you, O Aqa. But now Imam hears the cries of the women folks. Imam returns back to the tent. He says, Oh Zainab, why are you all crying? Hussein is still alive. Zainab says, she says, oh brother Hussein, every time you called Allah, hal min nasirin yansuruna. Little Ali Asghar threw himself from his cradle. Imam says, give me my son. Maybe they will have some mercy on him. He takes Ali Asghar. He comes into the battlefield. Now Hamid ibn Muslim narrates. He says, we saw Hussein coming, hiding something under his cloak. We thought that maybe Hussein is bringing the Quran. I want to say, oh wretched enemies of Allah, yes, Hussein is bringing the Quran, but he is bringing Quran in Atiq. Imam alayhi salam approaches them and he says, if you think Hussein is your enemy, if I have done something wrong towards you, then what is the fault of this little baby? Can you not see that he is dying of thirst? By Allah, his mother's milk has dried. Imam waits for a while, nobody responds. Imam says, maybe you think that if you bring water, Hussein will drink the water. Then you come and you quench his thirst. The narration says, now Imam places the delicate body of little Ali Asghar on the burning plains of Karbala. Imam moves far away for a long time. No one comes close. Imam comes finally and he picks the body of little Ali Asghar. He says, you are the son of Hujjatullah. Show them your thirst. But Ali Asghar pulls his little tongue out. The enemies began quarreling. Some said, give them water. Others said, no, let him die of thirst. Umar ibn Sa'd comes out of the tent. He brings his master archer. He says, Ya Harmala, iqta' niza' al-qawm. Oh Harmala, end this quarrel of the people. He says, Oh Amir, who shall I strike the arrow to? Umar ibn Sa'd says, can you not see the shining neck of the little boy? The ulama discuss between them, what was the most calamitous moment on Imam al-Hussein on the day of Ashura? Was it when he was bringing or dragging the mutilated body of Qasim? They say no. Was it when he was dragging the body of his Ali Akbar after pulling the spear? They say no. Was it when his back broke when he went to the body of his brother Abbas? They say no. Then what is it? When a man asked this question of Imam al-Rida alayhi salam, Imam al-Rida said, Inna musibat al-radi'i aqrahat jufunana. But the musibah, the calamity of the little Ali Asghar has broken or has ripped the veins of our eyes. Imam al-Hussein remembers you at this moment. Sukaina bint al-Hussein, the 14-year-old daughter of Imam. She says, I heard these pieces of poetry from the severed neck of my father on the night of Ashura. After all were martyred, she comes to the body. Imam recites these couplets of poetry. He says, Shi'ati ma in sharibtum ma a'adbin fadhkuruni. Oh my Shi'as, whenever you drink cold water, remember the thirst of your Mawla Hussein. Wa in sami'tum bi shahidin aw gharibin fandibuni. And whenever you hear of an estranged person or a martyr, remember your Mawla. Then look at the moment where he remembered you the most. He says, Laytakum fi yawmi Ashura jami'an tanzuruni. Oh my Shi'as, I wish you were there. I wish you were there watching your Imam, begging them for a few droplets of water for his little Ali Asghar. I want you to look at me for a moment. Those of you whom Allah has blessed with children, those mothers who are sitting right now, who have newborn babies, or 6-month-old babies, or a 1-year-old baby, hand on heart, I want to ask you, how many droplets of water does it take to quench the thirst of a 6-month-old baby? The ulama say there are 3 ways you can kill a fish. You can pull it out of the water permanently and the fish will die. You can pull the fish out and strike it and the fish will die. There is a 3rd way that the fish dies. If you pull the fish out of the water for a little while, but long enough for the fish to lose hope, even when you put the fish back into the water while it still has some life, the fish still dies. The ulama says the thirst of Ali Asghar had reached to such an extent that his eyes had sunk into his skull. Even if they had given him water, Ali Asghar would have still died. But look at the mercilessness of these animals. Imam now embrace comes to kiss Ali Asghar. But before Imam could reach Ali Asghar, Imam continues. He says, وَسَقَوْهُ بِسَهْمٍ لَقَدْ أَغْضَبُوا رَسُولَ الثَّقَلَيْنِ. They quenched the thirst of Asghar. By how did they quench the thirst? They quenched his thirst with a 3-headed arrow used to hunt the animals. When the Hurmala fires the arrow, it pierces the jugular from the jugular vein to the jugular vein. But Asghar now turns his head with a smile towards his father Hussein. My heart wants to say, oh Ali Asghar, why did you smile? Maybe Ali Asghar might say, I wanted to ask my father, oh father Hussein, are you proud of the battle of Asghar? My heart will say, oh Ali Asghar, wallah, by Allah, you are the bravest warrior on the day of Ashura. But now Imam takes the blood of Asghar. He wants to throw it towards the sky. This sound came, Hussein, do not throw it towards the sky. Imam then smears his beard with the blood of Asghar. Now Imam takes the body of Ali Asghar. How do I tell his mother that this is what has happened to your child? Imam goes forward and backward 7 times, trying to gather strength. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Ridam biqada'ihi wa tasliman li amrih. But Imam comes to the tent. He says, he hides the body of Ali Asghar. Imam calls Rubab. Rubab comes to the tent. Imam says, "Oh Rubab, as your Imam, I am ordering you to have patience." Imam then removes the abam, but she says one word. When she sees the body of Asghar, she says, "Amithluka yunhar." Do they even kill the likes of you? Sakina comes rushing. She says, "Oh father, did they quench the thirst?" ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون. ماتم يا حسين.
आते हैं असगर अली खूह में नहाए हुए मौत की हिचकी लगी खून में नहाए हुए मुठियाँ दोनों बंधे सीने के ऊपर धरी आंखें खुली कुछ रखी कुएं में नहाए हुए मारते हैं दस्तों पर ढूंढते हैं सर नन्हा जाते हैं पेशे खुदा खूह में नहाए हुए माँ का दला है हुआ दम भी है उखड़ा हुआ सीने में उलझा हुआ खून में नहाए हुए आंखें कभी खोल के शे की तरफ यस से रोके हो क्या देखते खूह में नहाए हुए गुल हुआ ए बीबियो आते हैं असगर अली आखिरी तस्लीम को खूह में नहाए हुए बानू ने कहा असगर बानू ने कहा असगर आ दूध पिलाऊं मैं, बानू ने कहा असगर आ दूध पिलाऊं मैं, माँ सदके गई तुम पर आ दूध पिलाऊं मैं, बानू ने कहा असगर आ दूध पिलाऊं मैं, सदके गई तुम पर आ दूध पिलाऊं मैं झूला झुलाऊंगी पोशाक में पहनाऊंगी, मैं झूला झुलाऊंगी पोशाक में पहनाऊंगी, गुस्सा न करो मुझ पर आ दूध पिलाऊं मैं, बानू ने कहा असगर आ दूध पिलाऊं मैं, बानू ने कहा असगर दूध पिलाऊं मैं, माँ सदके गई तुम पर आ दूध पिलाऊं मैं सदमा है मेरे दिल पर आ दूध पिलाऊं मैं, बानू ने कहा असगर आ दूध पिलाऊं मैं, माँ सदके गई तुम पर आ दूध पिलाऊं मैं, बानू ने कहा असगर आ दूध पिलाऊं मैं, बानू ने कहा असगर दूध पिलाऊं मैं, माँ सदके गई तुम पर आ दूध पिलाऊं मैं, या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन
या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन हैया अला खैरुल अमल 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 जाली असगर जा जाली असगर जा है जाली असगर जा है जाली असगर जा आशूर के दिन अली असगर को मारो रो कर समझाती है तुझे आखिरी जंग लड़ना है आशूर के दिन अली असगर को मारो रो कर समझाती है तुझे आखिरी जंग लड़ना है तुझे लाज मेरी रखना है तुझे बाबा संग जाना है तुझे आखिरी जंग लड़ना है इस दिन के लिए ही माँ तेरी तुझे करबो बला में लाई थी इस दिन के लिए ही माँ तेरी तुझे करबो बला में लाई थी इस दिन के लिए ही बेटा तुझे नाज से माँ ने पाला तुझे आखिरी जंग लड़ना है जाली असगर जा जाली असगर जा है जाली असगर जा तू माँ का राज दुलारा है तू सबकी आंख का तारा है तू माँ का राज दुलारा है तू सबकी आंख का तारा है तू शेर खुदा का पोता तेरा नाम अली है बेटा तुझे आखिरी जंग लड़ना है आशूर के दिन अली असगर को मारो रो कर समझाती है तुझे आखिरी जंग लड़ना है आलाल तेरे कपड़े बदलूं मकतल के लिए तैयार करूं आलाल तेरे कपड़े बदलूं मकतल के लिए तैयार करूं आ चेहरा चूमूं तेरा जी भर के देख लूं बेटा तुझे आखिरी जंग लड़ना है जाली असगर जा जाली असगर असगर जा, हाय जाली असगर जा। कभी गोद में ज़ैनब लेती है, कभी प्यार सकीना करती है, कभी गोद में ज़ैनब लेती है, कभी प्यार सकीना करती है। खैमों में शोर है बरपा, तू सब की दुआ लेता जा, तुझे आखिरी जंग लड़ना है। आशूर के दिन अली असगर को मारो रो कर समझाती है, तुझे आखिरी जंग लड़ना है। जाली असगर जा, जाली असगर जा। या हुसैन, या हुसैन, या हुसैन, या हुसैन।
ए गुले ज़हरा ए असगर, ए गुले ज़हरा ए असगर, ए गुले ज़हरा ए असगर, ए गुले ज़हरा ए असगर। बन में अकेले सोते हो, बन में अकेले
सोते हो,
रात में तन्हा होते हो, रात में तन्हा होते हो। शेरे खुदा के पोते हो, डर के न रोना है असगर, ए गुले ज़हरा है असगर, ए गुले ज़हरा है असगर, ए गुले ज़हरा है असगर। किसने सितम ये ढाया है, किसने सितम ये
ढाया है।
तीर कहाँ पे खाया है, तीर कहाँ पे खाया है। हाय कहाँ मुरझाया है, फूल सा चेहरा है असगर, ए गुले ज़हरा है असगर, ए गुले ज़हरा है असगर, ए गुले ज़हरा है असगर। कितने गाफिल सोते हो, कितने गाफिल सोते हो। माहो सद के जल्द उठो, माहो सद के जल्द उठो। जाते हैं रन में मरने को, जाते हैं रन में मरने को। आपके बाबा है असगर, ए गुले ज़हरा है असगर, ए गुले ज़हरा है असगर, ए गुले ज़हरा है असगर। लो वो शहे दिलगीर चले, लो वो शहे दिलगीर चले। मक्तल को शबीर चले, मक्तल को शबीर चले। लो वो उधर से तीर चले, लो वो उधर से तीर चले। हश्र है बरपा है असगर, ए गुले ज़हरा है असगर, ए गुले ज़हरा है असगर, ए गुले ज़हरा है असगर। या हुसैन, 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 या हुसैन।
असगर बिन तेरे मैं चैन कहाँ से पाऊँ, है असगर बिन तेरे मैं चैन कहाँ से पाऊँ। असगर बिन तेरे मैं चैन कहाँ से पाऊँ। असगर बिन तेरे मैं चैन कहाँ से पाऊँ। और लौट के आ जा लाल तेरे, और लौट के आ जा लाल तेरे, जी पर के नाज उठाऊं। असगर बिन तेरे मैं चैन कहाँ से पाऊँ। असगर बिन तेरे मैं चैन कहाँ से पाऊँ। तेरी आँख का तारा है तू, मुझको जान से प्यारा है। माँ दुखियारी के जीने का तू ही लाल सहारा है। तू तुझे छोड़ के तन्हा मक्के तल में मैं कैसे शाम को जाऊं। असगर बिन मैं चैन कहाँ से पाऊं। असगर बिन तेरी वो मासूम अदाएं तेरी याद दिलाती हैं। तेरे प्यार की वो सब बातें मुझे को बहुत रुलाती हैं। तुझे मैं तेरी जुदाई में बेटा रो रो के मर ना जाऊं। असगर बिन तेरे मैं चैन कहाँ से पाऊं। असगर बिन तेरे मैं चैन कहाँ से पाऊं। लोरियों वाले ये तो तेरे नाज उठाने के दिन थे। आँखों में तेरी खुशियों के ख्वाब सजाने के दिन थे। और लौट के अज़गर आ बेटा तेरा कुर्ता मैं बदलाऊं। असगर बिन तेरे मैं चैन कहाँ से पाऊं। असगर बिन तेरे मैं चैन कहाँ से पाऊं। या हुसैन
गूंज रही है ये सदा या हुसैन। देता हूँ साथ या हुसैन 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 या हुसैन। गूंज रही है ये सदा या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन। गूंज रही है ये सदा या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन। गूंज रही है ये सदा या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन। तुझको लाइनों ने सताया हुसैन। तुझको लाइनों ने सताया हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन। तीन शबो रोज का प्यासा हुसैन। तीन शबो रोज का प्यासा हुसैन। दश्त बला में तुझे मारा हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन। बैयत तालिब के तलबगार थे। बैयत तलबगार थे। जुल्म सितम के लिए तैयार थे। लिए तैयार थे या हुसैन या हुसैन। हुसैन तेरे लहू की खुशबू। हुसैन तेरे लहू की खुशबू फलक के दामन से आ रही है। फलक के दामन से आ रही है। न तेरे लहू की खुशबू हुसैन तेरे लहू की खुशबू दामन से आ रही है। फलक दामन से आ रही है। ये खून नाहक छुपेगा क्यों कर। ये खून नाहक छुपेगा क्यों कर। जिसे ये दुनिया छुपा रही है। जिसे ये दुनिया छुपा रही है। हुसैन तेरे लहू की खुशबू। हुसैन तेरे लहू की खुशबू फलक दामन से आ रही है। फलक दामन से आ रही है। हुसैन लाशा जवां का लेकर चले हैं मकतल से सूए खैमा। हुसैन लाशा जवां का लेकर चले हैं मकतल से सूए खैमा। मगर ज़ईफ़ी कदम कदम पर, मगर ज़ईफ़ी कदम कदम पर उठा रही है, बिठा रही है, उठा रही है, बिठा रही है। हुसैन तेरे लहू की खुशबू, हुसैन तेरे
लहू की खुशबू फलक के दामन से आ रही है,
फलक
दामन से आ रही है।
कबूल करना सर का कटाना, मगर न बातिल से खौफ खाना। कबूल करना सर का कटाना,
मगर न बातिल से खौफ खाना।
समझ सके तो सुन ले ज़माना, समझ सके तो सुन ले ज़माना। सदा ये प्यासों की आ रही है, सदा ये प्यासों की आ रही है। हुसैन तेरे लहू की खुशबू, हुसैन तेरे लहू की खुशबू फलक के दामन से आ रही है, फलक के
दामन से आ रही है।
जनाब आदम जनाब ईसा रसूल अकरम गरज के दुनिया।
जनाब
आदम जनाब ईसा
रसूल अकरम गरज के दुनिया।
जनाब आदम जनाब ईसा रसूल अकरम गरज के दुनिया।
जनाब आदम जनाब ईसा रसूल अकरम गरज के दुनिया।
समझ सके तो सुन ले ज़माना,
समझ सके तो सुन ले ज़माना।
ना सदा ये प्यासों की आ रही है, सदा ये प्यासों की आ रही है। हुसैन तेरे लहू की खुशबू, हुसैन तेरे लहू की खुशबू फलक
के दामन से आ रही है, फलक के दामन से आ रही है।
ये कौन खुतबे सुना रहा है, ये किसकी आवाज आ रही है।
ये कौन खुतबे सुना रहा है, ये किसकी आवाज आ रही है।
ये कौन है जिसकी गुफ्तगू में, ये कौन है जिसकी गुफ्तगू में अली का लहजा झलक रहा है। हुसैन तेरे लहू की खुशबू, हुसैन तेरे लहू की खुशबू मन से आ रही है, फलक
दामन से आ रही है।
हुसैन तेरे लहू की खुशबू, हुसैन तेरे लहू की खुशबू फलक दामन से आ रही है, फलक दामन से। सलवात सलाम पर फातिमा ज़हरा, सलवात सलाम पर फातिमा ज़हरा। हम आए हैं पुरसे के लिए फातिमा ज़हरा, सलवात सलाम पर फातिमा ज़हरा। हम आए हैं पुरसे के लिए फातिमा ज़हरा। कानों से सकीना के उतारे गए गौहर, कानों से सकीना के उतारे गए गौहर। ज़ैनब की बिछीनी है रिदा फातिमा ज़हरा, सलवात सलाम फातिमा ज़हरा। हम आए हैं पुरसे के लिए फातिमा ज़हरा। शब्बी ए रब्बे जहाँ पंचतन पाक का सदका इस कौम का दामन गम शब्बीर से भर दे। बच्चों को अता कर अली असगर का तबस्सम, बूढ़ों को हबीब इब्ने मज़ाहिर की नज़र दे। माओं को सिखा सानी ज़हरा का सलीका, बहनों को सकीना की दुआओं का असर दे। बच्चों को अता कर वलवला औन मोहम्मद, हर एक जवान को अली अकबर का जिगर दे। ए रब्बे जहाँ तुझे सज्जाद का सदका, बीमार जो हैं उनको शफा याब तू कर दे। मौला तुझे ज़ैनब की असीरी की कसम है, बेजुर्म असीरों को रिहाई की खबर दे। गम कोई न दे हमको सिवाय गम शब्बीर, शब्बीर का गम बांट रहा है तो इधर दे। बर मोहम्मद वाले